maybe next Sunday, or the Sunday after that, or maybe 52 Sundays from now, you will come back into this assembly, and you may look the same, but we will come to appreciate that God has recalled you to life in a way unlike you could ever have imagined. That you've experienced the resurrection, that you've experienced the power of the risen Savior in your life on a daily basis. Perhaps those of you who've listened attentively believes that I did not exegete this text properly. Perhaps there are those of you who disagree with my hermeneutical appropriation of this text. Perhaps I used the past tense when I should have used the present tense. Those of you were focused on failure in diction, enunciation, tense, voice, and mood. Perhaps there are those of you who take argument with my theology, and perhaps it wasn't orthodox enough for you. But before I take my seat, I would just ask you to allow me to offer a word of personal testimony. And perhaps you might be willing to listen to that. Because I can testify to you today that I have experienced resurrection in everyday life. Because I was crossing the street the summer after third grade in Sumter, South Carolina, and I was hit by a van, and I was supposed to be a DOA, dead on arrival. And I recall being in an ambulance, and I recall it chasing at a very high speed, and I even recall the medical technicians giving me up for as good as dead. But I want you to know that even then, my Lord and my wonderful Savior had a plan for my life, and he saw fit to recall me to life and to resurrect me when I had been given up by the medical establishment for death. And he has promised never to leave me alone. And in all these 28 years that I've journeyed with him, every cross on which I found myself on a Good Friday in the midst of my life, he's resurrected me to an empty tomb on an Easter morning, and I've experienced his resurrection power.
How great is our God? Say with me, how great is our God? Oh, we'll see how great is our God. How great is our God? Say with me, how great is our God. Oh, we'll see how great is our God. How great is our God. Say with me, how great is our God. Oh, we'll see how great is our God. You're the name above all names. You are worthy of all praise. And my heart will say, how great is our God.
I imagine that was Dorcas' testimony. I imagine that's what Tabitha said. How great is our God. To be raised again to a life that you once knew and then raised to a better life, you got to say, how great is our God. I don't know what has died in your life. I don't know what you want God to rebirth in your life. But you've discovered you can't do it on your own. Your friends and your family, though they're praying with you, they can't bring you through. But I know there is one who can bring to life what has died. I know there is one who can change the circumstances of your life. I know there is one that can give you and me new life and new life abundantly. Right now, I invite you to come. I don't know what your circumstances are, but God is with you right now, and He invites you to come.